I don't know. We're having trouble.
So don't ever correct me again in front of the fans. Otherwise, to the moon, Alice. I think it's best that we take a little step back.
Alright guys, we only have the cell phone light on and Matt has the switch. Turn it on. Turn it on. Let's see what it looks like. I'm Kristen and this is Matt. We've spent the last 4 years sailing our $5,000 Craigslist boat to some of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. From spearfishing in South Andros, Bahamas, staying in a treehouse and riding horses through the rainforest of the Dominican Republic, to even dodging hurricanes in Puerto Rico. We could have never imagined what this adventure would become. After gaining more sailing experience, we knew we had to make some serious upgrades to our boat if we wanted to keep this journey going. So we decided to go all in with our 40-year-old boat and get a new engine. We soon realized that we were in for more projects than we originally planned on. There's gonna be some major changes coming up, so hit subscribe and join us for the journey. What's up guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. Today we are doing some more work and we have a few things we gotta do before we can do some few things. That's the annoying thing of a boat projects. You want to get something done and then you're like, oh wait, I can't do that until I do this part. So we want to finish out our bulkheads and we want to laminate those and get those looking pretty, but then we were like, we need lights and we might need to carve out wire and do all that and do like sconces on each bulkhead like we used to have. But Matt said, nah, I don't want sconces. I don't want to look like we're in this old castle. And I said, sconces don't mean castle, but he says they do. So he came up with a new plan. I'll let you tell them about it.
I have a theory. I've never been a fan of, ever in my life, whether it's homes, whether it's anything, to have mid-level lighting. I don't like it in a house. I don't like lights like eye level. I never really liked it. I like lights on the top, just like the sun. They shine down. The sun never comes from underneath. It only comes from above. So I'd like to get some overhead lighting in here. And what I think I can do is similar to what I did in the V-berth. Use a PVC strip and put my lights in. Only problem is there's a little bit of an angle. I don't want it tilted so that it's like shooting the light in like some weird concert setup. So I'd have to come up with that angular device. And I also don't want it really thick. I don't want a big chunk up here. So it's going to take some engineering for sure. I could even start maybe over here because I don't know. This is smooth and then it goes into the texture. So as long as I start somewhere in the smooth part, I think it'll all match up. And I think I can make it look like it came with the boat and just have a strip of lights here and a strip of lights there and it's going to light up everything and work really well. So I'm going to start doing that now. And then once it's done, as we've done with the ship lap and a few other things, we may decide we don't like it and then we'll move on with the goblet lights because
Goblet?
The goblets. The goblet of fire, I think is what it's called. But yeah, so then we'll move forward. But we have to try to see. You can never know what's in my brain. I might not be able to come out of my hands. All right, so I think that this bottom line is going to follow this top little bend here. So what I'm going to do is put this under and mark, and that should give us the first shape that we need to cut. And we're just going to get it kind of close. You know, this is a más o menos sort of thing, more or less. Okay, dale, mommy. Dale means go. I think it means like dance. Literal translation, Puerto Ricans let me know. But it means pretty much move. So I say, dale, mommy. She says, okay, I'm gonna go mark it now. Okay. Alright, so this may just end up being a experimental piece. It's just a scrap piece that we had. So I said, you know what, let's take 2 hours, chop it up, come up with a design concept that we may or may not like. But obviously this is a big trapezoidal shape that I have to get to fit in there. And to make it fit more flush, I'm going to have to eat out some of these angles. And it's going to appear flat, but it's going to be all janky and crazy on the inside, on the side that you don't see. So I got to do that now, and I'm going to do that with the router. closer. Alright guys, so sorry I'm gonna kind of yell. I'm not yelling at you, I'm just talking louder so you can hear me. I gotta get this out of there, this much more material out, I think, to get a flusher fit. And then I think we can make the adjustments with the lights. Get some different lights, get a different style or something, and then we'll see. But I want to get it as flush as I can, and I'm going to have to take this much material out in order to do that.
Guys, I don't know, we're having trouble. What do you think, Matt? It's not coming out exactly how we thought, so I think we're gonna have to do a bit of work for this to actually come out looking good.
Yeah, I basically made myself a giant Conan the Barbarian sword, which I'm pretty hyped on for my cosplayers out there. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. I initially came into this with a little bit of a different design, and we liked some new designs, some new developments, as someone would say. And it's going to be bigger, so I kind of have to get into it a little bit more, but it's pretty much painstakingly cutting and shaving off PVC, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I'm going to check out this project for now on the filming, and then if I do get this problem solved, I'll bring you back and I'll break it all down for you phonetically. But I think it's best that we take a little step back and really discuss what we want in this space.
Alright guys, so it's the next day and we pretty much scrapped the old idea. We no longer want to try to mold it into the curves of the boat and try to make it look like one swooping piece. We are now going to be making more of a square piece that's kind of put a little bit more towards the inners of the boat, not much, but on the flatter part of the boat, and just do that. You got anything else to say about it besides that? No,
we're going to make more of a strip track lighting. You can see that I got a pencil and a marker in my hat today, and that's when it gets serious. When I got more than one writing apparatus, you know I'm taking it to the next level. Sometimes I have 4 or 5. I got all the different colors.
We're getting this done today. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We don't have time to just play around with our PVC.
Yeah, now that I have the engine in and it's running well, I want to leave now. Y'all wanted me to leave for a long time, and I was like, nah, it'll be fine. But really, now I want to leave. And we got to get this boat done.
So we're going for it. Let's go.
All right, so we put up some pieces of tape to kind of suss out where our lights are going to go, and we're pretty happy. We're going to have 4 on that side, 6 on this side, nice round number. We're going to end up having 3 in the kitchen, which is good for if you're inside cooking at night. You want to be able to see good, doing the dishes, making sure they're clean. We got 4 on the other side. One light is going to illuminate the booze locker if you need those midnight cervezas or, shot chachos. You don't want to be pouring in the dark. You might pour a little too heavy and then bad things could happen. I'm excited about that. I think it's going to look really good. So now I just got to get my 2 pieces of my track here together, and I'm going to tongue it and groove it. I don't think it's real tongue and groove, but it's something like a tongue and groove.
Shape you made there, Matt. Really impressive. Let's see if it goes together. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It needs a little work, but not too bad.
All right, so we got this cut out, cut to shape. Obviously, I'm going to Bondo this in and perfect it as the world turns, but I'm going to cut out my lights first and get those set in there. For 1, I can get a final visual before I start Bondoing, and 2, if I mess something up, I can fix that as well with the Bondo, do 1 shot with that. So I sanded that down. It actually looks pretty good. I know a lot of you are worried about that shape fitter there. It's probably not the most structurally sound. Obviously, if this was going to bend and I was going to take it out and really put some strain on it, I wouldn't be happy with that. I would have done a different way. But I think it's going to work great for this application. And now I just got to put a little corner, a little bit of a rounded corner here, and then we'll be ready for the next step.
So now that we have it all bondoed and situated, the holes are cut out for the lights. Basically, now we're going to wipe it with acetone, and then we're going to paint it with the same paint we painted the ceiling, which is our, what is it called, Matt?
You're going to paint it with the Ogre.
The Ogre. So that'll be shiny, it'll mix in, it'll just look like another part of the ceiling, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. We're going to have to drill out some lines, though, for the wiring and wire that up and then drill those, but
do you like it or do you not like it? Tell the truth.
I like it.
Because I poured my heart and soul
I like
into
it.
these
It's going to
lights.
look good, and it's going to fix our solution of not having the sconces, as you would call them.
The old castle daggers through the wall.
It's going to be good.
Okay.
Let's do it. It's the next day and we put in some work. Matt worked on the other side of the saloon, whatever you call it, it's light strip, so he got that done. Now it's just time for the lights and putting them together. By the end of today, we should have lights on and bulkheads done, I'm hoping. So let's get right into it. We just got to wire them. We might have to drill into part of our boat, so let's see how it goes. You have anything to say about it?
I'm excited. I can't wait to light up and illuminate the path to our future boat.
It should look good. You know those pictures on Instagram, guys, where like it's nighttime and people take a picture from outside their boat and it looks so cozy? That's the vibe I'm hoping we're going to get.
It's a whole vibe. I have already routed out a line for the wires to go through. It's not straight, it's not pretty. I went with a random squiggle to add more random structure to it. If I were to cut a straight line right down the middle, I think it might give it a fault that it might break at a little more easily. This way it's random, so I think it's a little
Whatever,
stronger.
Matt.
It's engineering, guys. Alright guys, so if you remember in the intro to this video we said it's always a pain in the butt because you got to do something before you do something and you can never move forward. Well, we moved forward with the bulkhead on this side and we didn't put our wires through, and that has since become a journey. As you can see by this thing hanging next to me, it's been, you know, some kind loving words said between husband and wife, and you know, it's pinched in this one spot where of all the laminate I screwed up, boy oh boy if I didn't do this one perfectly to the 10,000th of an inch and I couldn't get it fed through. So I got one wire through now. Let's see if we can get it sorted out. Let's see if we can, Lord pray for me, Lord help me get this wire through.
Alright guys, we're going to try to, he's going to pull the cord and I'm going to try to stuff it through. Let's see how this goes. Ah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Start stuffing.
Okay, it's going. The wire is now entering the tunnel. I have no stuff power.
Okay, pull it back a little bit. Okay. Let's mark how far it got.
Clearly probably right there.
Okay, right. So let's pull it and see. Okay, so it definitely is hitting there and then not wanting to go. Alright guys, new plan. I tried to pull this wire and I hulked it too hard and I broke it. So we've decided that there's a little bit of room in here. We're just going to stuff it in between where the bulkhead goes and call it a day on that. Or we can go underneath. We can go at the bottom. Just don't know. I don't know.
Alright, we changed our mind again, guys. We're all over the place.
I did this for a safety feature. This wire is, you know, regular wire, positive and negative right next to each other, and I could stuff it in here, but since my bulkheads are new, there is going to be some shifting and some settling that happens when the boat is under sail. So I would hate for this little wire to get stuck in between something, and there's just a little pinch back and forth. It chafes this, and then all of a sudden I burn my boat down. So I've come up with a better way to do this and insulate this so that it's going to be in a no pressure situation, and I think it's going to work a lot better for safety and everything like that. I'm going to run it straight from where the panel goes up that bulkhead because there's a lot more room. Then it's going to run across the channel of the lights, pop it through here, run it that way, then it's going to get that other channel and go down that way. So I'll have power all the way through.
Because the top of this bulkhead, we can actually get the wire to go through.
Yeah, this one has plenty of room at the top, and the other one has plenty of room. There's just that one little corner where it pinched and it wouldn't come through. All right, I drilled this hole, and now it's round 2 for pulling the wires through.
Alright guys, we got the wire through, so now we can start wiring up our lights.
Yep, now we're looking cool and we're ready to ride.
Back here we're gonna have to put some kind of trim, I'm thinking. So now that we have it up, it's time to put on the frames. Now let me know in the comments because I'm unsure. These are like little silver things. They look good in my V-berth, and that's when I originally bought these lights. But out here I'm thinking we could paint them white and then put them on and then have white lights. But let me know what you guys think. For now we're just going to leave them as they are. If I came on this boat and I was going to buy this boat and I never been on it before and those lights would not jump out at me, I think they're pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it's going to look good as a finished product. So close to seeing this salon have a great transformation, but first we want to put on the laminate over our bulkheads. Now that we got our lights wired and all set up pretty much, we are going to glue that on, and then tonight we'll be able to turn on the lights for the big reveal.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, we gotta glue our big wall panels, and you know us, it ain't never easy. This is the last big boy we gotta do.
No, we still have that wall.
But this one's bigger than that one. Oh. So don't ever correct me again in front of the fans. Otherwise, to the moon, Alice. You heard that? She said that with some bass. She said, no, we still got that one, honey. And I said, this is the big one, though.
Anyways, you could tell he's all sweated up and anxious, so we gotta get into it. Let's just jump right in. Gotta cut that laminate and get it. We have to figure out the shape and do all that, so.
Yeah, we gotta cut it all out. Alright, so I used everybody's favorite painted piece over there. Everyone freaked out when we painted this, but we knew that it wasn't permanent. So I used this to make a new template over there. It worked really well. I have a little bit of trim to do, but I think what's going to work over on this spot is I can flip it and make our template for this side.
Alright guys, so we finally got those templates done. We had a little bit of a problem because when we made that template of this big wall, we have horizontal lines, and somehow when we did it, our lines were like this. So we had to keep trimming it and trimming it and trimming it down to get the lines to go straight, because that would have looked really bad, you know? This side the lines go like this, and the other wall the lines are straight. So now it's time to glue them on, and I'm excited. This is going to be a great transformation. I can't wait till tonight for the lights, but let's get into gluing these on.
Yeah, and them crooked lines is making me seasick. Just from looking at them sitting still.
It's nighttime and I can't see anything with this GoPro, and I'm probably gonna fall into a crab hole. Matt, don't let me walk into the water.
I got you.
We're heading to the boat now, guys, to see our bulkheads finished with the lights turned on, and I'm pretty excited. Whoa,
Slight
is this a turn?
Slight right, you're good.
Okay.
I'm on to your right, so if I don't go in the water, you're not going in the
We're
water
gonna
yet.
walk right off the dock. Okay, guys, I'll meet you back when we get into the boat.
The light is blinding us.
This is obviously nonsense. Alright guys, we only have the cell phone light on, and Matt has the switch. Turn it on. Turn it on. Let's see what it looks like.
Hold on, I got a little hard to see. You ready?
Ready.
I think this is gonna do it.
Woo! 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 Boy! That's bright!
It's not bright enough.
No, this is bright. Luckily, these are dimmable. Dang, y'all.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening?
I just shoved the wires in there so now I can walk away from it.
Dang, boy. Alright guys, what do you think? We still have to put on the little light frames on this side, but the paint is kind of wet. We had to, you know, cover some paint to make sure it looked proper on the edges. The PVC sucks up a lot, but it looks pretty cool in here. It's kind of like an airplane, I feel like. Luckily, these lights are dimmable, but I like the option of them being this bright if we have some kind of emergency or at nighttime we're trying to fix something. We never had lights this bright before in our boat, and we struggled a lot of times trying to use flashlights, our cell phones at night, trying to see if our food was raw, trying to cook it at night. So this is a big upgrade for us.
Yeah, we had a lot of raw chickens on account of them old sorry ass lights. But it's pretty bright. I'm happy with the overhead lighting. I do think it looks a little bit like a private airplane, which is just fine by me. You know, you never seen somebody say, well, that private airplane don't look cool on the inside. It's pretty baller, and honestly, it looks wet. But also, it's another first experience for us here at GBO. This is the first time.
First time that we're filming at nighttime?
Yeah, this is the first time that we can actually film at night. It's usually like horribly grainy and chattery, and now it looks beautiful. I'm sure we're coming in 5K.
It hasn't hit the computer yet. So.
That's true. We might not be coming in 5K yet. But yeah,
no,
I'm hyped. I'm really excited about this. We got the back walls done, the laminados. Y'all were tripping over the paint.
Yeah, the new laminate's in. It looks good. We still have to do the bottom parts, but you know, like I said, we had a little problem with the grain going at an angle, but we fixed it.
It was not looking super cool. It was definitely janked like 45 degrees to that side, and it was definitely giving a psychedelic feel. It was
a lot of peanut butter pie. So once the cushions come in, I have ordered my fabric. I have chosen one. I ended up getting other samples from SAILRite. I know, guys. I know. I can't help it with the samples. I showed, I think, our patrons, but I think even for our patrons, don't know which one I chose because I second guessed and I chose another one again. So
sorry, guys.
I have chosen 100 times, but I finally chose, and it's coming. So once the cushions are in, the countertops are done, and you saw in the previous video our galley was coming away. We're right around the corner. Engine's in. Cheers. We did it.
Well,
I mean, we're not done yet, but we're getting there.
We didn't do it quite yet. But
I'm really excited about these lights. I'm glad he pushed me into these idea of these lights. They weren't something I really was excited for, but I'm really happy.
I pushed for it because I thought it would be the simplest way to saturate light. The last thing I wanted was a light here and a light there. It doesn't give full light. This gives full, even light throughout the entire space, and they are dimmable, allegedly. We're going to see that later once I get the dimmer switch. But if you can dim these, it's going to be really great. It's super bright in the kitchen for doing dishes and stuff like that. I couldn't be happier with the way this turned out. I mean, would I have liked to have spent a week making these? For sure. Instead, I spent 2 days, and if you ever get invited on the boat, you're going to see, and I'll point right to it, and I'll say, this looks doofy.
No,
it looks like.
It's not that bad. If you stare at, you can find wonky things on all boats.
Very true. But it looks cool. I'm hyped. If I would have walked on this boat 5 years ago and it looked like this, I'd have paid a lot more than $5,000 for it happily. So, engine's running, walls are getting in. You know, I'm thinking I might get to sail. 2022, I might actually get to hit some waves with the front of this boat.
Alright guys, make sure you hit subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next week. Make sure you sign up on Patreon if you want to see our real-time updates. Anything else you have to say?
Basically, once we get to the cushions, stay tuned for that episode because I'm going to tell you a story about why the company that sold it to us is the greatest company on planet Earth.
What? What do you mean?
I'm going to tell them the story about what SAILRite said to me when I was curious about my fabric. There's some confident achievers for that company, and I can't wait to share the story with you. But you're going to have to stay tuned. It ain't for today. It's only for later.
Maybe it's on Patreon.
Maybe. No, I ain't even telling the patrons about that one. That one's a secret for
everybody.
Come on! It's secret for everybody.
I'm in charge, patrons. It's happening. Bye!